I'm just being Tom. Hey, welcome everybody to the SideQuest, your weekly podcast all about video games where we talk about videos and video games and the people that game videos. I am Dolly Demovsky. Joining me is Sam Dixon.
I think I got lost in that intro somewhere, but hello.
I'm gonna call you Slammin' Sam Dixon.
Slam Dixon.
Slam Dixon, even better.
Wow.
Slam
Let's not.
Oh, there's so many atrocious things we can say.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware.
You've probably heard of them. And also that lovely voice that you just heard was Ron Kelly Scratty Bones.
Yeah, I got very sick. I did awful things to myself this past weekend.
Oh, you did awful things to yourself?
Did I tell you? I know I told you guys some of it. Did I tell you guys the whole story?
Nope. Go ahead. Let's get started on a good note.
I think I've mentioned it before, but my best friend is a marine engineer. And so he's on ships like 9 months out of the year. And he'll just randomly show up. So Saturday night, I get a text from him at like 10 p.m. Hey, I'm at the bar. You should come over. I'm like, all right. So I go to the bar, expecting to have a drink. No. One drink turned into several. And then after last call, he's like, hey, your apartment's next door. Why don't we all go there? And I'm like, who's we all? And he's like, oh, these 5 people. And I'm like, I don't know any of these people. All right, let's do it. So he came over and he's like, you got any liquor? And I was like, I actually do have a quart of rum that I have bought, but just been sitting on because I had a feeling. He's like, well, wow, okay. So we cracked that open and kept drinking. And then I went to the bathroom at one point and I came out and then I went to sit down at my computer and there was a 6th person who I did not see come in and did not hear come in who had decided that my place was the place she was going to sleep for the rest of the night, sleeping it off. And she was just passed out in front of my computer, blocking the whole thing. So I couldn't use my computer. So I was like, all right, it's going to be an early night. And then at like 3 in the morning, maybe 4 in the morning, they're all like, all right, we're going to this other guy's house. He lives in Chester. And then they're like, you want to come? And I'm like, nah, I'm going to go to bed. So they left. And on the way out, one of them stumbled and knocked my TV and one of my monitors over and shattered a glass. The TV and monitor were fine. So I was like, all right, I'm going to stay here and clean up. So I start cleaning up and then I find a cell phone. And it's the guy's house that they went to. It's his phone. And I'm like, all right, I'll take this phone back to him before I go to bed. It's like a 10-minute walk. So I take it down and they're like, well, now that you're here, stay for a drink. I'm like, okay. So at this point in the night, I have had probably 6 different types of alcohol and a lot of it. And so I'm down there and I'm having a drink and we're shooting shit. And I look on his kitchen table and there's like this awful ass plate of like shriveled up like sausages and like scallops or something like that, some sort of seafood. And they're very old. Like it's very old. Like sober me thinking about it is like nobody in their right mind would ever eat that. That like that's for the garbage. Drunk me was like, I'm very hungry. And then I came home at like 5:36 in the morning and went to bed and woke up for work. And I went to work and I was at work for about an hour and a half, thinking I was just hungover. And then in between customers, I started throwing up. Then it got bad enough that I rolled over to the owner and I was like, I got to go. I'm sick. I thought I was hungover, but I'm sick. And he was like, all right, go. And so I came home Sunday early from work and spent all of Sunday throwing up and then all of Monday throwing up. And then Tuesday I had stopped throwing up and could keep down food, but I think I fried my immune system and now I've got like the awful winter flu. Best guess is that I gave myself some level of alcohol poisoning and some level of food poisoning.
So you get a double whammy.
Yeah.
A healthy double whammy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I woke up today and I had no voice and I couldn't talk at work for like 2 hours and then my voice slowly came back and now I sound like this. Yay. So that was my weekend.
Mine wasn't nearly as crazy as yours. I just cleaned.
Oh, also my hot water's out again.
Yikes.
Yep. That's how cold it is here. It's very cold here. All the pipes.
It's gonna make you even sicker.
Yeah, well, it's like I can't shower in hot water right now because I don't have any hot water, but I got to shower.
So it's just all cold water.
It's just all cold water.
Hmm.
Yeah. Video games.
Video games. Dude, we're gonna send over like a care package full of hand warmers and butt warmers for you over there. That way you'll be all set.
I ran around my house last night. I got so fed up with how uninsulated my house was that I lit a stick of incense and I was like running it along the baseboards and windows and stuff, looking for where the gaps were because if air's coming in, it'll blow the smoke.
Yeah,
and it's all of it. And so now I rolled around my house and like laid duct tape along all of the baseboards to stop the air coming in, and it's actually like noticeably. I wouldn't call it warm in here, but it's certainly not as cold as outside anymore.
So you have some nasty leaks in your house there, in your place.
Oh, it's just not insulated at all.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Which wouldn't be a problem, except I live in Canada,
where it's always cold.
Yep.
Well, Sam, do you have any stories about being cold and sick?
How drunk did you get over the weekend, Sam?
How drunk did you get?
Absolutely not. I'm straight edge for life. No, I mean, if we're still on the health podcast, I am still having gut issues. So I'm sticking away from any irritants like alcohol or caffeine or anything like that. But no, it has been cold up here. Pennsylvania is America's freezer box sometimes.
America's Canada.
Yeah, well, kinda. Not as nice, depending on what part of the state you're in. But it's only going to get colder, and apparently a large snowstorm coming in this weekend, so that'll be exciting. Maybe I'll make a snowman and name him Aaron.
Yeah. I think we're sending the storm your way.
Yeah.
That's hitting us pretty. I think tomorrow night it's supposed to hit us. Good times.
I forgot the best part. This is the fact that I was using to drive home exactly how sick I was. Since I opened my store, I don't know, 17 months ago or whatever, I've missed work exactly twice. The first time was when I was recovering from having a tumor pulled out of me, and the second time was this past weekend. You
didn't even miss a day job, a day working when you had like teeth pulled out.
No, I just show up and
you just showed up swollen.
Yeah,
that's good.
Major surgery and as sick as I made myself this weekend are the two times.
Good. I love your medical stories. They continually make me happy for not dying yet.
So listen, they say you got to love yourself, and I don't remember what I did this weekend, so maybe I did.
Maybe. Well, let's talk video games. Maybe that'll help ease your pain a little bit.
Yeah.
What have you guys been playing? Let's start with Sam. What have you been playing, Sam?
Not a whole lot. But
let's go on to Aaron. Aaron, what? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I have been playing a little bit of still the best Xbox One game that's been made, but on the PC. I've been playing a little bit of Sunset Overdrive.
Ooh,
man, that is still a great game. And if you still haven't had the opportunity to play, you really need to do yourself a favor and play some of it. It's just that game that game knows it's stupid. It's very upfront about it being stupid. And there's something really nice and charming about that. It doesn't take itself serious at all. Always breaks the fourth wall. It still has some of the best movement that's existed in a video game for traversal on its landscape. We'll probably never get a Sunset Overdrive 2, which breaks my heart, but somebody should rip off the traversal system of this game. It's just Tony Hawk with guns. And I think
someone did. Didn't they call that Spider-Man?
I mean, they made a Spider-Man, but no, you can't grind. You can't ride on rails and do that type of stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. The only real downside I think with that game is it's sort of like punk rock soundtrack isn't the best. But otherwise, hey man, I still think it's in the top 10, if not the top 5 of best games ever made. So
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, fight me, Sony fanboys, I guess.
The best game about traversal. That's one game that I really wanted to get into. I never got the chance in my poor Xbox. I think I got it for was it the Games with Gold or Games for Gold, whatever, 1 month, a year ago. I think the last time I turned my excuse me, the wine is getting me. The last time I turned my Xbox on was it's probably been 8 or 9 months, maybe even longer, maybe almost a year now. I feel so bad for that thing, but that's okay because all that stuff is coming to Switch anyways. We'll talk about that later on. That's probably the one game that I feel bad for not getting into, Sunset Overdrive, because it just looks so cool, and I've heard so many great things about it, and then they never followed up. Did they even release DLC for it?
I think there was a little bit, but I think it was mostly multiplayer focused, like new guns and stuff. They also ran, they had that like sort of in-game podcast that ran. And I know they sort of tied seasonal events and stuff to that. So I think they're in the PC version, like anything that was like a timed event, they just give you for free. So yeah, I mean, hey, you've got a PC, you could check it out there, but that can just add to the backlog of games you got to get through.
Yeah, I remember when Microsoft debuted it at E3, they actually had a really nice setup. They had stations everywhere, and I gave it a shot then, and I really enjoyed it, and then just never got into it when it released. So yeah, I'll add that to my my growing backlog. It's funny. Do you guys have like? Obviously, there's a Steam. Everybody has a Steam backlog because people just buy shit on Steam when it's on sale, and they never play it. Do you guys have the same type of backlog on other digital services? Like I'm getting it on Switch right now, and I definitely have it on. I definitely have it on Xbox and PSN, but only because of the free games that I get.
That's why for me.
Yeah,
like on PS4, I've probably got technically access to 12 or 15 games that I've just never played.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, the various times I've had PSN, it's like, well, I might as well grab the free ones. But no, I basically buy as I play, so I've never really had a chance to accrue a backlog.
Yeah, I try to make sure that I either finish or get the most out of the experience that I'm going to have before I move on to something new. But then I get into the situation like I'm really trying to play through Kingdom Hearts, but I'll make, I don't really have a lot of time to play games tonight, so I'm not going to sit down and, play a heavy story-focused game like Kingdom Hearts. But then I'll play 2.5 hours of Sunset Overdrive and could have been playing Kingdom Hearts during that.
Yeah, that game is supposed to get they're hinting at DLC for Kingdom Hearts, story-based DLC. Maybe we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, okay, yeah. And anything else, Aaron? I mean, Aaron. Holy shit, Sam.
No, I mean nothing really worth talking about. Still playing Konami's pixel puzzle game.
Good.
It's so good, man.
It's so good.
I'm so afraid that I'm gonna run out. I'm at like 63% or something like that of puzzles completed, and I'm so upset that like a day is coming where I will no longer have puzzles to get through.
I love the boss fight puzzles and the mid bosses and stuff. It's just it's a nice way to do puzzles. But I'm looking at it right now. I'm only at like 32%, so I'm not plowing through it. I've been playing some other stuff on iOS on my toilet trips, but yeah, that's so good. I love that. It's just simple, pure Picross, which is great. It's like one of my favorite style of puzzle games. Better than Sudoku. Yeah, cool. What about you, Aaron? Aaron, what have you been playing, dude? My dude.
So I played a little bit more of Spinnertality and then wrote a hot take for it.
Yeah, you did.
That's up on the site. Everybody should go check it out. Ring that bell. I don't know, what do the kids say these days?
Like and subscribe below.
Like and subscribe, ring the bell.
Mash that subscribe button. Ring that bell.
And then I started playing Persona 5 again.
Yeah, boy. Let's talk about news real quick. Sorry to hijack this podcast. Persona R Persona 5S might be coming to Switch later this year to be announced in May. Heyo, see you there, Persona.
Wait, what? Where did you hear this?
There was just some rumors that were circulating. It's been kind of rumored for a while that Persona was coming to Switch, but
it's been rumored for at least as long as it's been confirmed that Joker was coming to Smash.
Yeah,
because that just makes sense.
I think that there something like some known Nintendo leaker or whatever before that's been right before, as all these leaks always say, confirmed that Persona, one of the Persona 5 projects being worked on right now, codename like P5S or whatever, is a enhanced version of the game that will be coming out for Switch and PlayStation in the fall. And we're supposedly to hear about it before the start of May.
Yep. And that'll probably be like Persona 3 and Persona 4 both had like enhanced or like, you know, versions with additional content. Like Persona 4 Golden had like a new character and stuff like that. And
I'd be looking forward to. I know Ryan. Hi Ryan. Ryan's watching us. Ryan's been playing or trying to play Persona 5.
Hi Ryan.
But he asked Corey to borrow Persona 5, but Corey has it digitally. So maybe now Ryan can get it for Switch because that's one thing.
Fuck. Did he ask him that over the weekend? Is that why I installed it and started playing it?
Maybe. Yeah.
Did they get in my head?
What's that? They must have gotten in your head. I swear, because it was in the Discord.
Because I installed this as soon as I got sick. Like I started playing it while I was home from work, and I swear I must have seen that message, but I don't think I remember seeing it.
Join the SideQuesting Discord if you want. It will be posted only in the SideQuest post for this episode on the site. We'll kind of keep it limited to the podcast peeps, but join our Discord. There's a lot of good talk in there. So, but yeah, we were talking about Persona 5 and how it's a 150-hour game and how I will never have enough time to play that game.
Yeah,
it's just fucking bonkers. I'm still struggling to get through like Zelda, and I'll talk about that maybe in the next few weeks here. But Persona 5, I've heard so many great things about it. If it comes to Switch, I'll be a happy boy. Yeah, everything should come to Switch.
This is my second time through it, and I don't think I like it as much as I liked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. The characters, like maybe I passed that milestone where I'm officially old, but the characters, the first time through, like I was like, yeah, like I get it, I get all of them, their problems, like I want to help, and this time through, I'm just like, fuck, they're whiny, and maybe that's because I'm playing it while sick, but I'm just like, oh my god, all of you suck.
Oh, you got to go to school. That's so hard. I'm dying over here.
Oh no, you don't fit in. I have no idea what that's like as somebody almost 7 feet tall.
You wouldn't fit in the doors over in Japan.
No, I was offered to go to Japan many years ago, and I politely declined because the average door frame is like 5'5" or something like that in like traditional buildings. It's like there's not a fucking chance I would fit in that place.
You would not be able to get in there. Yeah.
And
Spin Mortality, Persona 5,
and I played a little bit more Apex Legends.
Okay.
I played a bunch on PC, and then I installed it on PS4 to like sort of gauge the differences. And oh my god, is playing on console just easy mode?
Is it really?
Oh fuck, dude! Nobody knows how to strafe on console. Like they don't understand how to fire. So I've got people like trying to run at me and shoot me, and I'm just sidestepping and hitting them with a shotgun while turning at the same time. This advanced technique. Like I played one game and I got a win. I got second place, and then I played another game and I won. And it's on console, and it's just like, and not even like getting carried. Like I had the most kills on my team both times, and it's just like, wow. Like it's such a different. It's night and day, man. And nobody knows what they're doing.
You're finally a top tier player in something.
And like I'm pretty sure that the console version has like seriously heavy aim assist, because I'm shooting basically the same way I would be shooting on PC. And on PC, it's like, maybe I'm getting some body shots, but a lot of the times I whiff my shots.
Are you doing mouse and keyboard on PC, or are you doing
on PC? I do mouse and keyboard. On PS4, I'm doing just the controller. Sure. It plays fine on controller, like it plays like a shooter. But the aim assist is so heavy that like I've just got like a pistol in one of the matches, and like across the pistol with a scope, and like across the map, I'm just like digging a dude in the head. He's just like trying to figure out where it's coming from. And there's no way I would make that shot on PC. Huh. But
I still have to get into it. I gotta finish. I have 2 games I have to finish on PS4 to free up enough space to download Apex Legends.
Yeah, I deleted Red Dead to free up the space for me. I was just like, I'm not going back to it. Especially after that Red Dead news that came out.
Which was?
They pushed a patch that didn't fix most of the bugs except for the ones that people were using to make money. And so they effectively cut all the money making in half. And their first big content update was like half the stuff they promised for their first big content update and a bunch of microtransaction stuff. So
nice. Yeah, that game finally dropped to under $40 in stores here on sales. Usually it was only like you get like $10 off or something, but it's $39.99 now all over the place. So I'm tempted, but then I still have to replay, basically just restart Red Dead Redemption and get through that. But I was always hoping that they would release that for Switch, the first one.
Yeah, that game, I mean, at that price point, that game's totally worth playing, even if you don't think you're going to like it, but don't expect anything out of the online. Online seems
not yet, at least. Not yet. I know there's still people there's still people playing the Grand Theft Auto online, and there's obviously there's all these battle royale games out there. So trying to get something new with like Red Dead is going to be a little more difficult. But okay, so
yeah, that is everything, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I finished up Travis Strikes Again last week, and boy, what a bummer of a game that is. As I mentioned in Discord, like one whole entire level of the game is just kind of missing, and they play it off like it's meant to be part of the storyline, but it's not. It just felt like it's like lazy storytelling, and yeah, it was. I don't know. It didn't get me, and not that any of the No More Heroes games actually got me, but at least they were, tolerable. And this one is just a bunch of overhead style games that are themed like other games. I mean, there's actually a racing game in there a little bit, but it's not an actual racing game. It's just you got a couple quick button presses and you can win the race. And then there's a bunch of they try to ape Hotline Miami, and it doesn't work quite well just because there's so much repetition of stuff in this game from visual styles and everything, and it's not. I don't know. It's difficult to enjoy, but I plowed through that, finished that game off because I am a Suda51 fan when it comes to just his completely quirky style.
Well, that game is supposed to be like a big mashup of all his games, isn't it?
Because they have everything in there from anything that he's worked on. They reference it all. Killer 7 is referenced in there. There's I think not Anarchy Reigns, but one of the other games that he worked on. I mean, there are plenty of references. Shadows of the Damned is referenced in there.
Is D4 in there at all?
No, that's not Suda.
Oh, isn't it? I thought that was one of his.
No, that's Swery. But he messed it. I think he there is a Swery mention in there because of in the game you can get T-shirts, and I think there's a missing T-shirt. I think there's a Swery. I think there's like a silver case or silver ward type of thing that they mentioned. Anyways, it's not anything special. But so I flipped through that. I finished that up, and then I jumped on to. I've been playing more Tetris 99 because it's so fucking good. It's so good. It's the best game ever made, Tetris, and now an online version. God, I fucking love it. It's great. It's great. I wonder if they ever made like an offline version of Tetris. That would be kind of fun. But Tetris 99 is a blast. Can't put that down. It's good. And I just realized I thought I had maybe like 15, 20 hours in that game. I don't, because the matches are so short. You can get about 20 matches in an hour. And you don't even want to play them much. You probably only want to play like 4 or 5 matches at a time. And I've only got like maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours worth of time spent in Tetris 99. I thought it was a hell of a lot more, but I'm already up to like level 17 or level 18. I've leveled myself up, but oh God, so good. Anyways, that was that. I played, I got into Dragon Ball Fighter Z on the old Switch, and man, that game looks really good. And that's a really competent fighting game. And it's great to finally see a really good fighting game on the Switch. Just kidding. I love Smash Brothers. But no, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is really good. It's really great. And I understand now. A year ago, it arrived on PS4, Xbox One. I think the Switch version came out in September. But it's really damn good.
I'm gonna be honest. I would not have picked up on that little snipe at Smash Brothers because I don't think Smash Brothers is a fighting game.
The only reason I said it is because I know Ryan's watching, and so and listening. So there you go. Love you, Ryan. But yeah, I love. Have you guys played Dragon Ball?
I've played a couple of matches on it. Okay. I want to say it was on Xbox. Yeah, I think that game is like a perfect translation for at least the visual style of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it is.
I know I've played with some people that wanted more like aerial combat. You know, there's not so much like flying around, but I think it's pretty good. I like that sort of tag system that something like that in Marvel vs. Capcom does.
I think Marvel vs. Capcom has a better tag system, but this has an interesting, because of some of the kind of instant attacks you could do with the tag system. But yeah, there's not a lot of aerial stuff in this, but there are a lot of great kind of over-the-top moves, over-the-top attacks. They really do focus on the animation and the visual style. So, no, we have not, Chris, one of our viewers. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm really digging Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I totally understand why people liked it, and why it sold a bajillion copies, because it's the animation style gets me. The story mode, first of all, there's a ton of stuff to do in the game, from story mode to online to training sessions. The story mode, it does really look straight out of a freaking episode of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and because it just transitions from like what looks like a hand animated scene right into a fight, and it's just so good, so well done. So that's that. Yeah, playing that, and I loaded up the old Diablo 3. Starting to get into that. I got it for the Switch. Fine. I had played it a lot on my Mac actually a few years ago when it actually first released. So I just started picking it up on the Switch again. It's been ages. It's been like 5 years, maybe more, since I played it. So started on the Switch, and that's still a really good game.
It's actually kind of segues into another piece of news I have on my list.
Well, yeah, go ahead, because that was basically all I've been playing. So let's get into news.
Might as well start with that one. I believe it was a Reddit post, but the guy who did the redesign for Diablo 3 to make it not suck made a post detailing all the things he would change in Anthem to make it not suck.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I think I picked up a little bit of that.
Yeah, which I just thought was very funny.
Do you remember some of them?
No, I don't have the actual list in front of me because I haven't played Anthem, so like it wouldn't mean anything to me. But it's floating out there. I'm sure if you Google it, it'll be there. But I mean, it seems like it was getting a lot of traction when it was. I was like when it was first posted. I was seeing it all over Twitter. I just thought that was funny. It's the guy who redesigned Diablo 3, so maybe he knows what he's talking about.
Boy, Anthem, guys, that game is getting butchered all over the place.
I believe I predicted that.
You probably did. Have either of you guys played it? I have not.
Oh, fuck no.
No, I tried a little bit of the beta, but haven't played retail.
Man, it's like BioWare could be doing such great things, and I think this is something that EA put a gun to their collective heads and said, "You guys have to make us a Destiny beater," and that didn't work out very well. I mean, it's a long process. It's gonna, with these live games. I mean, Fallout 76 is going through it too, and it's gonna take a long time with updates and expansions and DLC and stuff to actually make this thing competent. Because Destiny 1 took a long time, but then when I think it was Taken King, some of the other stuff came out for Destiny, for OG Destiny, it became an awesome game that people got back into, and it was kind of cool seeing that sort of bell curve of Destiny, of everybody really getting into that game towards the original one towards the end of its lifespan. And then Destiny 2 starts, and then people fall off because it's a hard reset, and then now it's slowly getting pretty competent again. So Anthem, the weird thing is Anthem may be too little too late.
I mean, part of my prediction for Anthem getting slaughtered is the fact that it just doesn't have the space.
No.
Like a Destiny or a Destiny 2, especially Destiny. Like, I don't think there was another game like Destiny.
Nope.
Like, it had room to find itself, but we're like a week out of Division 2.
Yep, and you got Battlefront 2, and you got a bunch of other stuff that are in the exact same space.
Yep. So, I mean, it sucks. I like BioWare, and I would prefer EA didn't kill them like they do all their studios before they get to make the next Dragon Age, but I'm not holding my breath.
That is that's the terrifying consensus, is that they're gonna cancel BioWare at the end of the year when they realize Anthem isn't doing well.
I mean, that's what EA does.
That's exactly what EA does. We're gonna transition them onto other projects.
Speaking of EA,
all right. Next news.
EA, Amazon, and Comcast have all submitted bids to purchase Nexon, the publishing company in South Korea.
They're a massive publishing company.
Yeah, I have a note in my list here that just says Nexon is a publisher that publishes a lot of games you've probably heard of and never played.
I think MapleStory. They do MapleStory a bunch of.
They do MapleStory. They do MapleStory 2. They did Archage. They've got a huge catalog, but I guess they're up for sale.
Yeah, I mean,
so that will be interesting because I don't think EA can kill them.
Yeah, it's probably right because that's a whole market that EA is not serving right now.
Yep,
that sort of PC free to play, collective JRPG style, life sim market that they're not doing, and I think that's something that I could see EA. I don't know why Amazon would do it. Unless Amazon would want to put them into different types of gaming projects, because Amazon keeps
got their whole game thing, right?
But they keep jumping in and out of games, right? It's like they had this whole big gaming division and they collapsed it. Then they started another one and that's sort of collapsed. And then this kind of a third or fourth attempt at doing games. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the last thing Amazon did was announce that their next upcoming game was like some colonial type sim called New World or whatever, and that was met with tepid reaction.
Didn't they buy the guys that make Killer Instinct or like games like that or something? And then nothing came out of it, or maybe they made a game and then spun them back out. That is actually a pretty big deal because Nexon has a reach to a lot of the Asian market.
Yeah,
none of these three companies have. And
that market is about to be slightly bigger because it turns out South Korea is shutting down a website called Zuzunza.com, which is basically the South Korean equivalent of Newgrounds.
Oh, wow.
Or like Itch.io, like one of those where just people at home could make a game and post it. And the reasoning behind it is because the user created games that are going up on that aren't rated, and like that's a big deal in South Korea. So it's like super illegal. So they're bringing the hammer down on that and a couple other websites.
It's a hammer, and they're bringing the sword down. They're putting a shield up.
All that
stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, what a soft transition you got working there.
That's a transition.
Hey, you take it. You set it up. You take it.
The brand new
sword now.
Yeah, the brand new. Well, exactly. The next generation 8 of Pokemon games have been announced. Pokemon S-Word and S-Healed are coming this fall, as Nintendo mentioned like 2 years ago, or last year, I think, at E3. So the next 2 Pokemon games are coming this year. And or Pokemon game split into 2,
and they're on console.
Which is what everybody wanted. It's obviously last year Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu made bank. That sold $1 bajillion because it was tied to Pokemon Go, and I think this is a good transition for them from Pokemon Go to more of the traditional hardcore mainline Pokemon series. So I think this will be. This will be a really big thing. And as Chris Noonan says in our chat, it says time to finally buy a Switch. I think there are a ton of games coming out this year based on that last Nintendo Direct that they announced all that crazy.
I mean, here's the promise that I will make right now on this podcast.
Yeah.
If I somehow get a Switch and a capture card, I will buy one of these Pokemon games and I will stream the entire Pokemon game.
Wow. All right. Good.
Because I'm not a Pokemon person, you know what I mean? Like, like I've never really dug into a Pokemon game, like seriously. Like I never collected them. I didn't have the generations. I played the first one, and like that was it. Like I don't have a phone with a data plan, so I never got into Pokemon Go.
You don't need another data plan. Wi-Fi will work with Pokemon Go.
It does, but there's no like citywide Wi-Fi here, so I can only have Wi-Fi as far as my Wi-Fi reaches.
It's funny because we have the iPad, and we loaded up Pokemon Go on that. And whenever we take the iPad to like a bookstore or a restaurant that has Wi-Fi, my daughter logs in and plays Pokemon Go on that. But, so she can spin Pokestops in the area. But I think it's a big deal because this is the Pokemon was a massive hit on the DS and on basically every little device it's been on, the portable devices, and and the Switch is this hybrid. Up until now, I mean, people do take their Switches onto like airplanes and like buses and shit.
Rooftops.
But, yeah, rooftops for parties. But Pokemon's going to make them take their Switch everywhere. You're going to see this Switch pop out all over the place. In schools, in doctors' offices, in jail cells. They're going to be you're going to see the Switch everywhere. I think that's what Pokemon does for the console. It's going to sell a ton because the Switch is the most popular device right now. It's definitely outselling the PS4 in Japan and every other gaming device in Japan, like collective. So if anything, it's going to be like the hot shit over there. But it's going to be big here. I think people are waiting for it. A lot of fans were turned off by Pokemon Let's Go. They just felt that it was too casual of a remake of the original Pokemon games. I enjoyed it because it was so super easy and casual, and so this may be the first full real mainline Pokemon game that I get into. I've bought like the last 2 or 3. I think I bought like XY and Sun Moon, and I even think I bought one of the DS games early on, and I never got more than like 2 or 3 hours into it because it was just so slow paced. But Pokemon Go and Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu got me thinking about this series. And the visuals look really good, actually. So that's coming. You got your 3 starter Pokemon. Well, first of all, the game takes place in a brand new region known as Galar, which I say, a lot of people say it looks like the UK. I say it looks like Westeros. So let's go with the Game of Thrones, Dolly's Game of Thrones version of Pokemon. And you get 3 starter Pokemon, which are Grookey, the monkey, the chimpanzee, which that's the only one you actually have to care about because the other 2 suck. Scorbunny, the rabbit, and Sobble, the crying salamander lizard that looks like its family has just been murdered. So, I
mean, the bunny's the only real one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you guys don't like the very sad tadpole?
The sadpole.
I mean, I think it's fine, but like I play games to escape what life is like.
Yeah,
I don't need that constant reminder hanging out with me.
Oh man, that's why you play as the trainer and not the Pokemon. The trainer's having a great old time. You're just the Pokemon feeling deep regret inside the whole time.
No, I mean, like you get the first fucking battle, you pick that lizard thing. And it's like, all right, get out there, do your thing, and it pops out, and it's just like, I'm not getting my taxes back this year. I'm like, come on, Pokemon, what are you doing to me?
Oh, I don't know if I left the oven on or not.
He comes out and says, "Oh, your heat's not going to work again this month."
I was just trying to soak in the bath, and then you threw me out of the ball.
I didn't make enough money to pay my power bill this month. Oh no!
Oh, we don't have a bath.
All right, let's not make it too real over there. Plus, like, all these starters don't matter at all until we get to see what messed up creatures are at the end of their evolution.
Right.
Because I would have told you I wasn't going to play as the dumb water frog in X and Y or whatever Greninja's from. And then there's a ninja frog that has his scarf as his tongue. Sign me up. Every time he'll be my starter.
Sam, are you excited about this game?
I am. I sort of fell off of Pokemon. You know, I played Red and Blue like every other child in that time frame. And I played Gold and Silver, but I didn't really enjoy them as much. Stopped playing Pokemon pretty much cold turkey, other than we were big fans of the mini games in Pokemon Stadium. So that was always fun on N64. But yeah, I had sort of been off of them for a while. And then my partner's been really into Pokemon. So I picked back up again on X and Y and Sun and Moon and really enjoyed playing through those. Actually, there's a lot of like end game content I never even got to see.
There's tons in these, yeah.
So I'm excited to just have it on Switch and just have an excuse to play Pokemon and basically play a co-op game, but having your own experiences playing the exact same game with the exact same like moments. And it's always nice to have like growing up, I had a brother. So we were able to buy both versions of the game and, you know, cheat basically any of the trades and any of the exclusive Pokemon on one over the other. So it's nice to have a partner that is also interested in it and will play the other version. We just have to settle the argument of which one of us is Sword and which one of us is Shield.
You mean S-word?
Sure. But that was a huge.
That's a real deep reference right there.
Yeah, that was a huge fight in our house for a while about like I really wanted to play Pokemon Moon, but I had to settle for Pokemon Sun.
Nintendo's got an incredibly strong back half of. They have an incredibly strong year this year, but when you think of the 4 games releasing this fall, and for some reason people didn't think that Pokemon was coming this year, but you have Pokemon. So 2 of those games, right? You're gonna have was it Link's Awakening? That's coming out as well. The remake. You still have Animal Crossing, which will probably be their December game. I'm guessing Pokemon's probably going to be their November game. Link's Awakening, and then you got Luigi's Mansion. And those 4 games are actually pretty solid, great variety of games for the console, and then whatever else crazy stuff that they come up with, which they usually do. And that's just that's just the fall period. I mean, they still have Mario Maker 2 coming out, and Fire Emblem in July, and Daemon X Machina, and blah, blah, blah. So there's a ton of, and there's still that persistent Metroid trilogy rumor, but that's probably going to be 2020 at this point. But there's a lot of stuff that Nintendo's pumping out this year that could be really interesting. So, speaking of Nintendo, so we mentioned, was it last week or the week before, about that Xbox panel at GDC, where they're talking about bringing Xbox Live experiences to other platforms, including Am I stealing any of your news bites right now? I'm gonna throw the Xbox rumors out there for right now.
Nope, you're good. You are killing my transitions though.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can.
Well, I was gonna offer you a choice.
Okay, go ahead. This is like a choose your own adventure news story.
There were 2 ways we can go bouncing off that Pokemon stuff.
Okay.
And I want you to either choose 1 or choose 2.
Got it.
Go for it. Pick one.
Let's go with 2.
2. All right. You guys see that second Pokemon Detective Pikachu trailer?
No, I have not watched that yet. Was it's going with all the different Pokemon in it?
It's got a bunch of Pokemon in it. It's just a really good trailer, though. There's a Mewtwo in it.
Okay, I'll take a look at that one. They're doing a good job with these trailers. I'm actually excited to see the movie.
I'm gonna go see that movie, and I don't give a shit about Pokemon really.
Can we talk about realistic looking CGI'd Mewtwo? Because that, he's supposed to be a weird amalgamation of a Pokemon and a human or whatever. And that tail has just some awkward placement, especially when he is floating out of that fire in that trailer. I just expected to see Mewtwo Dong by absolute happenstance. But man, that movie is going to be fantastic. If not, if the story doesn't end up great, or it's not just a good movie overall, just the sheer fact that they went balls deep at making these horror monsters realistic looking and integrating them with real humans is going to be nuts.
Yep. I like that he said they just went balls deep, because it does look like they realize that they could have done a serious Pokemon movie, you got a trainer out there collecting Pokemon doing that shit. But they decided, you know what? Let's just fucking have some fun. Let these Americans do whatever they want to do with their production and do some crazy-ass movie with Deadpool, and they have a mime that likes to swear at other Pokemon, and just go ahead, just have fun. So I like that they're just quite literally letting the producers do whatever they want with this thing.
Do the Pokemon that are shaped like humans fuck like humans?
I gotta wonder. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
As far as I know, they only have sex if you just leave them alone in a animal shelter for a week.
And they come back and your Pokemon have multiplied. Oh, goodness. What else you got? What was number 1? Or is it a different transition now? I'm drinking wine like a really expensive date.
I also am drinking a fine vintage of Coca-Cola. Yeah, it's a good year. This year, I assume. The other one was
probably not this year, actually. Probably 4 years ago, the way Coke ships.
Probably it was the Reggie news.
Oh, the Reginator.
Yeah,
good old Reg.
Yeah, Reggie Fils-Aime is retiring as president of Nintendo of America, circa April, I think.
Yeah.
He's in until April, and he's being replaced by a fucking dude named Doug Bowser.
Yeah, man.
It's the
What
best.
a What a great look right there. I'm sure Doug Bowser has acquired that position through rightful means. He's risen his way through Nintendo.
No blue shells. No,
no blue shells. No golden mushrooms. Yeah,
no stealing princesses.
I thought it was funny because I had this tied to an article that was over at Kotaku by Chris Kohler that was detailing like the start of Reggie like back in the early 2000s. And how, like, he very quickly became a meme and then got on board with that. And that's why everybody loves him. And then if you were watching all this stuff happen last week, which he announced his retirement, I think less than 24 hours after our last show.
Yeah, it was. It was the next morning he announced it. Yep.
But there were like shots from like Doug Bowser in his office with like a Mario and Luigi like tied up on his shelf and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that he's equally as in on the joke as Reggie was.
Apparently he is, at least partly, because you've seen some. I follow his Twitter account. He doesn't tweet that often, but he does every once in a while. He'll throw out something that's just kind of funny out there. But I think he realizes just that whole naming meme thing that's going to haunt him forever. So I think he's ready for it. But
do you think that dude joined Nintendo with his last name knowing? You know what I mean? Like,
he's like, my name's Bowser, so I'm going to go right after Nintendo because I can get the job because my name is Bowser. Is that the kind of thing you're thinking?
Yeah. Or like,
I would have done it if my last name was like Peach or my first name is Mario. I'd totally go for it. Why not?
I'm John Mushroom Kingdom.
I'm John Mushroom Kingdom. And I liked how everybody was talking about how all these other companies are now going to hire people that are named after their greatest villains, like EA Lootbox and.
I can't wait for the new Square Enix CEO, Cloud Strife.
Cloud Strife. Goodness. But what's interesting about Doug Bowser's taking over is that he's taking over. He essentially took over the role that Reggie used to have in a way, because Reggie was the head of marketing at Nintendo for a while and then became the president, and he took over for Kimishima. And I keep wanting to go into like Wu-Tang Clan, like Kimishima, yeah. But he took over for Kimishima, and he was like basically the VP of marketing, the head of marketing. And now Doug Bowser, same thing, head of marketing. He understands the product. He helped lead the U.S. Marketing efforts for the Switch. So a real successful product. It's sort of following that same path that Nintendo that Reggie set. So
I thought the Kotaku piece, the part in it that I thought was really interesting was that first time that Reggie came out at E3. And he had the real like, I'm a football player, I'm a real mean dude, like that whole thing, like that wasn't him, like that was pitched to him and he had to be convinced to do it according to him.
Really? That's funny. I kick ass and take names and make great games, and okay.
That was pitched to him, like he had to, which I just thought was very funny because that's that's how you think of Reggie, right?
Yeah.
Even though he seems like the sweetest dude on the planet.
And he probably, I'm sure he is one of the sweetest dudes on the planet, but then I think accepting that meme early on of him, of himself, I think helped him. And to be honest, I think this position at Nintendo and the meme worthiness stuff that he's done I think that may have changed him. It made him just him, his own personality may have changed because of it. So, but good on it. I think Nintendo tends to do that. They're still the family-friendly company that can poke fun at themselves. And I think they're in a good position right now with being really open to new ideas and new technologies and pushing things a little bit more. I'm trying to transition right now into the Xbox stuff. That makes them sort of a really friendly place, at least for that kind of stuff.
And speaking of them being friendly, I'm stealing it from you.
Go ahead. Oh, dude, dick.
I got one more Nintendo thing on my list. Over at Forbes, Ollie Barter has an interview with Satoshi Mizuhara, who's the dude who runs HAL Laboratories. They make the Kirby games and stuff, and it's just like a cool interview that details like his life with the company when he left, when he came back, and like his friendship with Iwata. And there's nothing really newsworthy in it. It's just It's like a really good it's like a really good interview, and it just kind of really sets home like how like family friendly and like nice Nintendo is.
Like they still didn't they make it a point when the Wii was losing, when they were losing money those years after the between the Wii and the Wii U, to like not lay off anybody.
Iwata took a pay cut, yeah.
He took a bunch of the guys took a pay cut, and they opted not to lay anybody off because they wanted to keep that talent around to make games, and because they Nintendo has that IP. They have the strongest IP of any company out there except for maybe Disney. And so they're able to, they know that people that work within the company that know the IP are gonna do it justice, maybe more so than if you let people go. So, but what I do want to bounce off that a little bit, not with the Xbox stuff, but I listened to a really good podcast today. Gary Vaynerchuk, who's he's an entrepreneur, has a lot of folks on. He does like 5 podcasts a day. So. But he had Strauss Zelnick on, who's the Take-Two CEO, and he's also like his holding company that owns Take-Two, and he actually owns he used to I think the interview is like about 40 minutes long, but he goes into his background, how he started off working in like a movie production company, and then worked his way up to be like president of of a major movie studio, and then started a music company, and then he got brought into like BMG and turned BMG around, and then he finally decided that I'm gonna get into gaming because gaming is the smart digital future, and his company ended up buying Take-Two and turned Take-Two around. So it's an interesting interview. It's a good story. So take a look. I think it's the Ask Gary V show, or look that up, Gary V. Yeah, Strauss Zelnick, interesting dude. What other news you got?
Speaking of brands throwing away their identities, how about THQ Nordic doing an AMA on 8chan?
Yeah, this is the big one. This is the very bottom of my list. I got well, before we kick into this, let me just read the quote from I guess the PR manager, Philip Rock. I fucked up, and well, it is strange to have to say this, but I'll do it nevertheless. I am not a white supremacist, nor into child pornography, nor do I think this AMA was smart in hindsight, and if I could, I would undo it.
Oh, man.
Big yikes. The definition of a big yikes.
Hashtag big yikes. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that
how did he think this was a good idea? Did not a single person that sits around him in the office say, hey, maybe not that site. Maybe not that site. You can go on, you could go on Alex Jones. You can go on InfoWars, and we'll be okay. Well, we understand, but not 8chan or 4chan.
Have you been on the site? Does it look good? Okay, over there. Oh yeah, there seems to be a very excited community, and they're very excited to see us. So let's just get on in there.
Except it's not even that, because he was aware of the reputation 8chan has, and had put out a tweet saying like, "Oh, they assured me they've cleaned it up for this."
Oh no, thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark was gonna watch.
Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
Quote: "This was not about being edgy."
Oh my God, it's just the worst. Don't anybody in PR involved. Just stay away from edgelords. Just stay away from 8chan, 4chan. Be careful on Reddit, because we know how Reddit can get. Just do Discord. I don't know. Figure something out. There's got to be a better way.
Did they delete the race car driver excuse about seeing an opportunity and having to take it?
That was a great one.
They did. One of their more passed around tweets got deleted, but most of them are still up. But yeah, it's fucking insane. And every Reddit thread about it that pops up, and elsewhere, like within minutes of these threads popping up, it's filled with people who are just like, "Oh, it's not all about child pornography over there at 8chan."
If it's even 2% about child pornography, you should not be involved in it.
And then you'll have people like specifically the discussion I saw on Reddit about it was like, there were people in there that were like, I mean, it's no different than a Reddit AMA, and you'd be pissed off if they did a Reddit AMA and Reddit was known for hosting child pornography or other offensive material, and it's like, yeah, that's why they cleaned Reddit up, or tried to, because they weren't getting celebrity AMAs anymore. They wouldn't do it because it had a reputation. So like, yeah, dude, you're right.
Jesus.
Nailed it on the
JFC,
head.
man. Holy moly.
Oh my god.
What else you got? What can you mop this up with, dude?
What else I got? The last thing I had, I didn't really have anything to tie it to, but Pablo Lafora of Tessara Studios gave an interview. This was over at gamingbolt.com. And he was saying that VR will be very important to the PS5, and he, like last week or the week before, had also gone on record as saying that he doesn't think Microsoft gives a shit about VR and AR anymore. And it's not really information heavy, but the reason I included it is because I had a friend bring it to my attention, and they were like, "So do you think that means the PS5 will ship with VR?" And I'm like, "No, because they want your money."
That's true.
But like, I don't know. I really want VR to be a thing, and I don't think it's going to be a thing. Like the HTC Vive just released a new SKU of their thing, and I don't think anybody gives a shit. And I don't know what's going on at Oculus, but I haven't heard a peep out of them in weeks. And like, you know, the PSVR is as sketchy now as it has been. Like it still has issues with the movement tracking, and the games aren't especially good, and I don't know. It was a good try.
It's difficult because
it was better than the last time they tried.
It's true. VR is a difficult thing because you need the PS4 is the best version of VR right now. And what I mean by that is it's the most accessible one. I can't get VR to run on. I can't get my Vive, or I can't get a Vive or an Oculus Rift to run on my high-end laptop, which released the same year as the Oculus Rift and the Vive, which is a bad thing. It's at the same time you need a really expensive piece of equipment, and yeah, you could go that simple Google Cardboard route, or some of those really cheap headsets, or even like the Gear, but all those have their completely own stores and you know, storefronts, and it's very broken right now. It's not a cohesive thing for VR, and anybody that's developing VR content right now knows that they need to get it onto a bunch of different formats. Even the Oculus Rift, the Oculus folks have like 3 different storefronts for their Oculus products. And the Vive has at least 2, with the main Vive store and the Gear VR store. At least PSVR is just 1, but it's such a broken system at this point. Just VR in general. It's, again, cool technology, but I don't think it's hit its I don't know. I don't think it's hit mass appeal at this point, and it may not.
I don't know. I mean,
I think we wanted the Ready Player One, but we're nowhere near that, and it's probably going to be another. You know,
I'll tell you what I wanted. I wanted the fucking headset that I could put on and sit in a movie theater and, you know, watch shit from my computer in a movie theater. Yeah. And that exists, but I don't have a computer that can run it, and I don't have like $4,000 to build a computer that can run it.
Exactly. They're far too expensive. I'd love for that to take place. I think VR will be successful when you can see your friends there in VR. You have a camera, you set your avatar, and then your friends are there all the time. They're sitting, their whole body is tracked, so that you can watch a movie together. You can sit with friends in a theater. You can go to a sporting event or a concert or whatever. VR is fantastic for those folks that can't, they can't get out. So I think that's something that we need to.
Well, so I had cooled on VR a little bit just because like I don't have access to it. I don't really know anybody that has it, so I can't even try it. Mm-hmm. And then that friend, my marine engineer friend, the last time he was down, when he showed up at my house at like 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve, he had built a brand new computer and he bought a Vive, and he was telling me how he was using some program that you could just download for free on the Vive, and it's basically that movie theater, but you can have it set to open, and so people can just pop in, and like you're streaming video, and so they could just watch your video, but they can do their own shit too. So he looked over at one point, and the dude had his own window set up in this theater that they were sitting in, and he was playing a video game in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's just like that's the kind of shit I want.
Yeah, yeah.
If they could find a way to mass market it, that'd be great. But it seems like they got to the point where they're like, yeah, okay, this works, and then we're never going to be able to figure out how to make it affordable.
It's again, Sony has it best because the PS4 is already VR capable. Facebook could do it, or Amazon. You need a big company. You need like a Comcast or a Facebook or an Amazon, or an AT&T, someone who delivers content to your house, or Rogers or whoever in Canada. Someone who delivers content to your house and say, hey, by the way, you can get Wi-Fi through us. You can get cable through us, you get phone through us, you can get VR through us. And here's what VR does. VR lets you watch all the stuff you can watch, but also first run theater stuff, shows, movies, sports, and all in VR content. And that's, I think, the way that it's going to happen.
Do you remember, I don't know, maybe, I mean, it crops up every now and again, but I think the last time was maybe 2 years ago when they were talking about how like the movie theater industry was dying, and they wanted to set up a system where you could rent, like you could pay into a system to stream movies that were in theaters to your house. I don't think anything ever came of it, or it was like stupidly expensive or something like that.
Yeah, it was far too expensive. Yeah.
Could you imagine a service where that existed, bundled with a VR headset?
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, you pay us an extra $50 a month, and you'll rent this headset, and then you can watch, X number of movies, or we'll charge the cost of a ticket, and you just put this headset on, and then you're sitting in a movie theater.
Yep.
Like, that would be incredible.
That'd be fantastic. That's what MoviePass should do.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with you. I think VR is it's taking its hits right now. So, what else? Anything else?
Maybe one look. No, that was everything I had.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw the rumors, the old rumor mill out there. So that like I said, we talked about Xbox. They're going to have that panel at GDC. I mentioned this earlier. Talking about Xbox Live. A whole host of rumors have been popping up over the last week.
I did hear one. Xbox thing.
What was that one?
It was it might not even be a rumor. It might be true. It might just be confirmed. But they've announced the HoloLens 2.
Oh, that one's true. Yeah, that was this past Sunday. The HoloLens
was the HoloLens 1 ever available?
Not to the public. It was enterprise, and it was massively expensive. And the HoloLens 2 is like $3,500. It's definitely not for public, even though they brought Tim Sweeney onto the stage to talk Unreal. It's not a gaming thing. It's not a consumer thing. You're going to see folks who are working at major factories and businesses and enterprises using this thing. So sorry if anybody that wanted a cool HoloLens, it's not coming to your house. Even though they advertised it with like Minecraft and other stuff. But the Xbox stuff that I was talking about, the Microsoft stuff, was the rumors of Game Pass and the Project X Cloud and all that stuff coming to Switch. And even now today, there is a rumor going around that, in fact, on the Xbox One dashboard, if you hop on there, they have those backgrounds when you go to like the mixer section of the Xbox dashboard. And Marina from Splatoon 2, part of her body is like down in the bottom right. They show like a bunch of these characters. They'll have like, Master Chief and Terry Crews is on there. And then bottom right, you can see a little bit of Marina, who's one of the Splatoon 2 characters, kind of off to the side. So that this is a very specifically designed image for Xbox. So you don't just grab, you're not just grabbing random characters and throwing them on there. This is, I think, a very, very much a, I don't know if it's a mistake or an early reveal or anything, but I think this is just lends more fuel to the fire that you're going to have a lot more Xbox integration onto the Switch. And I think Mixer if this mixer rumor is true, then you can get the game streaming, which is what Nintendo doesn't have yet on the Switch built in. The others do, but Microsoft is really pushing hard to get into Nintendo's economy right now. So there was, I think, the first Ori game was it Ori and the Blind Forest, whatever that is. That was already showed up on some not a ratings board, but like in retail systems for the Switch. I think Cuphead is even rumored as well. And there's another one of those games, kind of in that indie 2D style, is also showing up in retail systems for the Switch. Then we already have, Xbox Live, which could be, this all may be just overblown, and they may just be saying, look, we were able to get achievements in Minecraft, and you can too in your games. But I think it's leading to more, because this would be a good extra thing to add to Nintendo's just their console and their whole economy. And it's really, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I've been seeing these rumors and stuff like that, and it seems like it's a push toward a very serious partnership.
Yeah.
And with the way Microsoft's sort of pushing into PC space again, not that it looks like they're going to abandon consoles, but they seem to be focusing more on like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Xbox as a service.
Sure. And wouldn't it be interesting if, the Switch 2 comes out, Microsoft finishes their push into what, like, their ecosystem that they're looking to get into, and then Nintendo goes, I know our online service wasn't that great. Now we're working with Microsoft, who has a steady track record of an excellent online service. We'll let them handle that, and then you can still play all our games, and you don't have to worry about spotty, shitty online connectivity.
So man, it would be, I think you're probably 5 years off at the minimum from having a whole new online service. Nintendo just launched their Nintendo Online service. Prior to that, they had their Nintendo Network, which was on the Wii U, and then like a secondary Nintendo Network thing, which was their mobile stuff, which spun off from the Wii U thing. Before that, they had the friend codes on the Wii and on the 3DS, and it's just there's a lot. And I think because they just launched Nintendo Online, I don't think they'll have, I don't think they'll be redoing that yet again. I mean, they just realized that there's a whole ton of money that they can make from online, especially when you release something like Tetris 99. But I do see that collaboration getting stronger, and I could see them maybe in a few years, 4 or 5 years, when their next major device comes out, be tied in more. But I think you're kind of a ways off. What I think could happen. So there's other rumors that broke this week was that Microsoft could be showing 2 devices, could be debuting 2 Xbox devices, new consoles at E3 this year, codenamed Anaconda, and I don't know what the other one is. Don't want. I don't know. But that's the rumor for the E3 reveal to be released in like 2020. One of those devices, they're saying one is like their big console that has everything built in. The other one is sort of their streaming box. I could see them almost debuting a third console and saying our third console is the streaming on the Nintendo Switch. And now we're partnering with Nintendo. We're gonna have streaming on the Switch. You can buy the subscription right through Nintendo or through Xbox. You can get all these games. We've worked with them to figure out how this is going to work. I think that is a very plausible thing, because they want to get onto phones. They want to get onto MacBooks and all that kind of stuff, and be competent with their streaming stuff. So it's a really interesting rumor right now, because this growing collaboration could be leading to a lot of really interesting things. And Microsoft's in third place again. And they're not just in third place, they're far back in third place. They're basically, it's weird to say that, but they're almost in like Wii U territory of third place levels. Yeah, they're selling tons of hardware and games, but mindshare and just the grand scheme of things, they're really only in the US right now. They have zero footprint in in Asia, and their European footprint starting to fade to Sony.
I mean, that's maybe the most exciting part. Like, if they really team up with Nintendo, they might finally be able to get a foothold in Japan.
And that could be what pushes them, because Nintendo's been experimenting with streaming, right? They had Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on the Switch in Japan, and Resident Evil 7 is on the Switch in Japan. They're both done through streaming, and apparently they're both done. They both function over there because they have better capabilities. So if you have the Microsoft streaming network over there, I mean, that's a ton of money for Microsoft, especially for all these games now that you couldn't get before. And if you're getting 100 games and you're charging, what do they charge, like $10 a month? I mean, that's nothing. And that's for people who want to get these high-end games that are sort of exclusive to Xbox. I mean, could you imagine Halo on a Switch in Japan? Yeah. I mean, that could do really good for the Microsoft brand.
I mean, especially with the fact that like Halo is a really fun co-op game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Halo 3 and I think maybe ODST. So a bunch of them have like 4-player co-op. Can you imagine that with Switches?
Oh God, yeah, totally. And I think that the Halo games do okay over there for being on kind of confined to an Xbox, and on a Switch they'd be built into the streaming service, but they would the brand awareness for all their properties would shoot through the roof, and that would be massive for them, for Microsoft. So it's a really interesting rumor. I don't know where any of it's going. I don't know if any of it's true. But man, GDC's in like 2 weeks or something like that. So it's like, I think it's like the week before PAX East again. So we'll probably find out a bunch of stuff then. And then of course Google is showcasing they got a keynote at GDC that is, they're going to debut whatever their gaming initiative is. They sent out an invite, I think earlier this week or late last week, maybe it was. I don't know when it was. It was earlier this week. And yeah, that's it. They're ready to go. They got their gaming figured out. So they had the Project Stream stuff where they did Assassin's Creed Odyssey that ran pretty well. Here it comes. Google could be in the browser streaming the game at this point. And then I think the last bit of news that I had, and this is interesting, is that this is coming from our friends at Game Informer. This was from, I think, earlier this afternoon. Borderlands developer Gearbox promising reveals at PAX East panel. It says one of the panels is at PAX East is from Gearbox, developers of games like Borderlands and Battleborn, and promises never before seen reveals on stage at the panel. Speculation is rampant. This could finally be Borderlands 3. So potentially, they've usually been pretty active at PAX East whenever they do have any new games coming out there. I mean, they tend to have a bigger booth. So get ready for Borderlands 3, which is going to be your Battle Royale lands. Just kidding. I don't know. Speaking of PAX East, make sure you show up to the SideQuesting and Friends PAX East panel. We're doing Scrappy AF, scrappy as fuck, as we say, which will be Tom Johnson and I, and we'll be joined by Jake Baldino from Game Ranks. Tom's also a guest from Game Ranks too. Dave Oshry from the New Bloods, and our good friends John from Mr. Negative from Super Deformed Gamescast. And we're going to be talking about getting into the games industry from all these different aspects: editorial, community, video, development, and how really the best way to get in is just to put in the hard work. And we're going to talk about how we got there and any tips we have for folks to do the same. And we're going to open up the floor to questions after that. So it should be a lot of fun just to hear from this awesome collection of people. I'm getting a ton of feedback from folks that they're really excited about this panel. So suddenly I'm feeling that this could be a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So please come out. If you're going to be at PAX East, come out to the panel. You may want to get there a little bit early.
Can I give you a word of advice?
Yeah, do it.
If you're going to take questions, get them before the show. Don't take live questions.
Yeah.
Because if you take questions from the floor, every single one is going to be like, how can I be a games journalist?
Yeah. We'll try to get those knocked out. Yeah, but it's not a bad idea. Is maybe we can have somebody. Maybe we'll hire Sam to go around the show and go around the floor and have like hand out little cards for people to.
I plan on getting belligerent and yelling from the back.
Yo, you fucking suck. SideQuesting sucks.
Yo, this whole thing's stupid. Why would you even listen to these?
How awesome would it be if the staff of everybody that was on the panel was just there in the back, just yelling at you guys?
Yeah, we'll set it up. We'll do that. That's a great idea.
Now, I already figured I'd probably show up and be like, okay, you guys excited for your panel? And then Tom or Jake would hand me a camera and be like, hey, you want to film this?
You know what? I think you've just signed yourself up to do it.
Yeah.
There you go. Tom, if you're listening in heaven, you can go ahead and film the panel wherever you are at a dog wedding. I think that's it, guys. I think we've knocked another great show out of the ballpark.
I just want to cut the rumors off right here. I won't be there. I know everybody was super excited for me to be there. I won't be there.
Yeah, unfortunately. No, it's a bummer. I would have loved to have more folks from the team there, but you got to get yourself a passport and you got to have money and heat and water to make it out there.
Fucking call up Penny Arcade and just be like, do one of these fucking things in Canada, and then you all can come to Canada and I can just hitchhike to the show.
I'll do that.
North.
PAX North, right? Do PAX Toronto, PAX Montreal.
They're like, yeah, let's do one in fucking Texas, Bumblefuck, Texas. Let's do that. That makes sense. Like, all right, where do you want to put the next one?
People go to Texas.
Where do you want to put the next one? I don't know, Australia, I guess.
Let's do another big PAX show. Where should we do it? I don't know. Let's make it about board games though.
Hey, don't put Philadelphia on blast. They didn't ask for it.
Is that where PAX Unplugged is?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's in Philly.
Nice.
That's the Windy City, right?
It's PAX East.
No, that's Chicago, my friend.
PAX East Junior.
The city of brotherly love is Philly.
I can feel the brotherly love in this group. Sam, where can we find you?
At PAX East, hopefully. Up in chilly old Boston. The way the weather's going, we'll probably be under about 5 feet of snow, like we were a couple of years ago. And was it last year that was like a nice summer day every single day?
We were in shorts out there.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for me on social media channels, I'm kind of non-existent on them. But if you want to go back, you can find tweets at twitter.com/SamDI79. Why don't we click on the old webpage and see what the last thing that I tweeted and didn't retweet?
You retweeted this podcast.
Still from February 10th, Daft Punk is the official AI of the Grammys. So
that's perfect.
That's still true. I hope you know how to speak French while you're at the Grammys, because all the computers talk French at you.
And Aaron, by the way, our listener Christopher says, "What have you got against Australia?"
I just responded. I said, Australia's great, but I can't get there without a passport.
That is correct.
Everything is upside down over there too.
Yes, it actually is upside down. It's the amazing thing. They call it the down under, but it's actually the upside down under.
I will say that since childhood, I, for some reason, have really had a fascination with going to the Sydney Opera House. I'll probably never make it, and I do not like opera, but I've always really wanted to go to that building for some reason.
Where can we find you, Aaron?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at ScrattyBones. I won't be streaming again until I'm not sick anymore.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to hear this voice.
No.
This luscious, sensual
doing
voice.
This was probably a mistake, honestly. But,
it was for all of us, to be honest.
Yep.
Let me get that on a shirt. Doing this was a mistake.
This was a mistake. Fucking period right at the end. White letters on a black t-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I've got a hot take for Spinnertality up.
Cool. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Check that out. It seems like a fun game. Like it's a pretty cool game. And I don't think I've got anything else lined up right now, so
all right.
I'm just gonna keep playing Persona.
Good deal. Sorry, Ryan, you can't play it. You can find me at Dolly Domofsky on social media and all that streaming stuff. And you can find us SideQuesting at SideQuesting, SideQuesting.com. If you want to get in the Discord, I'll have it listed in our post here. On the site, on that SideQuesting.com site.
Those MFers incepted this game into my head, so they don't get to complain that I'm playing
totally
it.
We totally incepted it. SideQuesting TV on Twitch and I think the YouTubes. Other than that, I think that's all of it. Yeah, if I'm forgetting something, I'm sorry. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next episode of the Side Quest. Bye.
Bye, friends.